Good morning. My name is Crystal Scretching. I'm an inspirational speaker and author. You can find me all over social media at CScretch. I wanted to do a quick recap of Essence Fest Day 2. It was, hey sister, how's it going? It was it was a full day. We had a really full day, but it was very impactful, and there were two key events that stood out more than others. And if you see in the video, I have tagged Iyanla Vanzant and Mary J. Blige. So both two separate events that happened at the festival, but both relaying the same narrative and message, which is talking about the need for us to release the things that we're holding on to. That can be pain, that can be just being fatigued, that can be sometimes other people's energy, the negative things that we take in day to day. Just a lot of things that we harbor and we hold on to. So that's what I'm going to be talking about this morning. If you feel like that's something you want to share out, thank you for sharing, Greg. Good morning. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Garrison. Feel free to go ahead and share this out anytime during the broadcast that you're feeling what I'm saying. You can also tap for hearts and definitely stay connected with me. But first off, the first event that I went to, good morning, Kara. How are you doing, beautiful? The first event that I went to was Iyanla Vanzant on the Essence Empowerment stage, the Empowerment Expo experience. And she was the keynote closer for yesterday. It's good to see you too, Kara. She was the keynote closer, and the place was packed anticipating to see her. And she came in and ushered in like this presence of healing. She was playing this beautiful music that sounded kind of like it put you into a trance. It was very like that music you could like just calm yourself to, or maybe meditate to. And repeated in the lyrics were the phrase hallelujah, hallelujah. And she began saying, sometimes you just say hallelujah, and that's all you have to offer. But it is one of the oldest and most ancient words. And she began talking about this spiritual code of conduct, which you can find on my Twitter page, because I literally was like taking notes. So I got you if you want to know what those spiritual codes of conduct are. But one thing that she said that really stood out to me is that we are always taking in energy of some sort. What we're telling ourselves, what other people are telling us, what we're listening to, what we're feeding ourselves on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a second by second basis. We're always taking in things. Sometimes we go through tragedy, sometimes we go through loss, sometimes we go through transition, and in life we have this pain that we endure, these struggles that we go through, and sometimes we harbor that stuff, we stuff it in, and it becomes almost toxic to our bodies. So basically what she was saying about this was that we have to find a way to release it, because it's going to come out some kind of way. It's going to work itself out in some sort of fashion. And the question was, and I will pose the same question to you as I reflected myself, how is your stuff working out? How are you releasing it? Because it's not a thing of whether you are or you aren't. Subconsciously, we're working our stuff out in certain situations. Something she went to offer in her talk was, are you drinking it out? Are you sleeping it out? Are you, using drugs? Are you binge watching a show? Are you eating it? Are you, what ways are those things manifesting in your life? How are they coming back out? And then those times, like me, very personally, I'm one that I find subconsciously I can harbor things, shut this gate up, this wall up, and it sits and festers for so long, and before I know it, boom, it comes out. And so that was the place that I was at yesterday, listening to this, going, wow, how am I releasing these toxins, this negativity, this energy that I'm taking in that can be overwhelming and exhausting? And so transitioning into Mary J. Blige's performance, which was amazing. It was an experience to say the least. I've loved Mary's work, but I wouldn't call myself a diehard fan. But man, she came in, and a lot of you may or may not know, she had been going through a very public breakup. I don't know all the story. I'm not here to give you the 411 on Mary J. Blige's story, but I do know that publicly, most people knew she had been going through this public breakup. And here she was performing these hits, songs that are talking about, no more drama and the pain that you go through in relationships sometimes. And guys, when I tell you, she laid it all out on the floor last night on that stage. She literally, I want to give her props. She is the epitome of courage, because here she is with this public situation. She is personally dealing with pain, regardless of her status. She is a human being. She is hurting. She's going through healing. She's grieving, right? And for her to come out and literally open that space up with us and share of that. I mean, there were times where she was literally almost screaming out the lyrics. And one time she literally drops to the floor and just lays out. And it was this thing that I was witnessing that I realized, releasing that pain. How are we getting it out? We got to find a way to get it out. Now, through her, she can do it in her music, which is a beautiful expression for us to witness. But how are we getting that pain out? And so it's just been this therapeutic message that has been running in day 2, which was yesterday, of really, you just sometimes got to release. You got to let it go. If that's a good old cry, if you have to do like Mary and hell, just like drop to your knees, get on the ground, just take a deep breath, scream it out. If you got to go run up and down the street, if you got to go exercise, whatever it is, like, we got to get that stuff out. We got to cleanse that stuff out. We're lying to ourselves if we think we can just maintain and not face our things and not call them out and not work through them. They will come out in some kind of way, but we definitely don't want them to come out in a way that is detrimental to us or harmful or not conducive to a good life, or anything that is not helping or healthy for us. But I wanted to just really pose that question to you, because we're all going through something, regardless if you're in one of your peak moments of life or you're in your valley moments of life. It ebbs and flows back and forth. Sometimes we're on top, and sometimes we feel like we're shitty and we're on bottom, and then here we go again. We're just kind of even keel, and then it just constantly has that dance. But how are you letting that pain out? How are you releasing that energy? What energy are you taking into your life? What people are you surrounded by? What messages do you allow play in your mind as your foundation? What are you telling yourself over and over again? Really pay attention. The key to growth of any kind is a self-awareness. We have to be honest with ourselves. And that's one thing Iyanla said, spiritual code of conduct. We got to be honest with ourselves. It's not for anybody else, but when you're by yourself, just ask yourself these questions. And one probing statement that I use is, if I'm really honest with myself, like if I'm really honest, and then I just let it come out. But anyways, guys, we're heading to day 3 of Essence Fest. Chance the Rapper is going to be here, and I'm very excited about that. My friends are very excited about that. He's going to be the closer tonight. And we're probably going to pass through and see some more stuff. Today is kind of like Sunday. But anyways, I hope that you really take this message in and that you take it into your life and really take the time to reflect, because it is so important and so key, again, in your process of growth, and you wanting to better your life, and you wanting to get past hurts and pains. And we're all on this journey together. Don't ever think that because you see Mary J. Blige up there singing, or Iyanla Vanzant is on this platform with OWN, that these are not human beings that are still going through things. And that's one thing that I really appreciated about yesterday. Really getting to see the heart of a human being that is literally just suffering like we all do. So anyways, I love you guys. Have an amazing day. If no one has told you, you are enough just as you are, just for being who you are. No other requirements. And I will talk to you guys later.